we're talking about the close range meta, which is something that's been asked about for a little bit. And what you'll notice is a common trend with these things is the close range meta, these things kill fast. One of the things I want to start off with is the Bryson 800. And this one is kind of more known about just from El Gumtov, which is kind of the shotgun king when it comes to Call of Duty. So go ahead and check him out if you haven't already, if you're interested in more details on shotguns. But overall, what makes the Bryson 800 so disgusting is it is one of the few shotguns that has a one-shot kill potential, even if people are fully plated. So a point blank up to around 3.5 meters with a range build, maybe up to 4, you will be able to get a one-shot kill, which feels gross. Like you feel like you're cheating the game, but at the end of the day, this is how the game was built. You can get a one-shot kill with the shotgun, but not a sniper rifle, even at point blank. The build that I chose to go with is the Bryson Improved Choke, the rifled barrel, the Point G3P04 sawed-off mod, and then the Demo X50 tactical pump. And using this specific barrel, I think it actually changes the iron sights, and that's one thing I noticed from this. So it gets rid of that little ring. It actually gives you a little bit better visibility, so we can go ahead and hit that target. Nice clean kill. You can see the aim down sight isn't horrible. Obviously, you're not going to be jump shotting or anything like this, and the tighter spread you will always get from aiming down sight. So you're going to want to emphasize that with the shotgun to secure more one-shot kills and two-shot kills at the further ranges. Keeping in mind that you really have to know how to use a shotgun when you are using one, because you have to use your movement to get to cover, wait for the timing that you can go ahead and fire again, and then fire the second shot. So you kind of got to do that. It's not stand out in the open, strafe like an SMG. That's not how shotguns work. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. It is pretty broken if you're holding a doorway or can manage to close that distance on someone and break them entirely and they go straight down. Next up is the Akimbo P890s and the Akimbo X12s. And I would have put these higher up on the list, but so few people are actually getting these in game because of the way the loadout system works. You can't go to the buy station and buy these. You can only buy primary weapons, and there's a little bit of bug going on. Make sure you have all 10 of your loadouts built out, and then even if you've deleted some, make sure you fill them all out, and that should fix it so you're able to buy the right gun. If it doesn't, hopefully they're able to patch that in the next week's update. But overall, the reason why I like these two is they're incredibly broken. Their TTKs are under 400, and they have some pretty good range. Fire rates are obtainable even for a regular, like average person that doesn't have the fast trigger finger. As we'll see right here when we go with this particular build, it is a little bit different than we're going to see with the X12s. And this one, we're using the cottonmouth barrel. We're using the Bruin Express action for the trigger. We got the 1 milliwatt pistol laser. The laser is visible, but this will give you the tightest hip spread. You actually get a decent amount of range. 12 round mag. You could get around with 8 in solos, but 12 is still a little bit sketch in trios or something like that. And then we got the Akimbo P890s, and this is kind of how this one works. So you kind of come up, you can kind of aim at the target, and you get pretty good range on it. This one will be a little bit harder. I'm still getting hit markers, as you can see there, but still able to take out the furthest in a real practical setting where you're moving, not standing still. Same thing when we go to the X12s. It does have a little bit more ammo. By default it's 17, but you could bump this up to 24, and that'll allow you to get that extra ammo without sacrificing a ton of the mobility. You could, on the other hand, bump this up, but that's a whole other story if you want to go that route. 24 on each should be plenty. When you're looking at the damage per mag numbers that I've put, it's with the mags that I have selected. If you want bigger mags, you can get way more ammo, an unnecessary amount of ammo, maybe to clear a stronghold or something, but that's how it is. So we got the FT Steel Fire, the XRK Lightning Fire trigger, the 1 milliwatt laser, same thing. Lasers are visible, but sprint to fire time is being helped out tremendously. Then we got Akimbo with the 24 round mag. This one, very much the same. This one actually has a little bit faster fire rate. It takes an extra bullet to kill, so it's kind of compensated for that. But you can kind of see you get a lot of ammo out of this to go ahead and take on multiple targets versus what we saw in the other one. So there's a little bit more comfort in this one. That's why I rank it slightly above the P890. And the Lachmann Sub is one I prefer. I've used this a lot within DMZ to take on multiple teams. It feels like it kills very fast, which obviously you can see by the TTK, it does kill fast. It has a little bit more damage per mag, which is kind of what I like. The only downside, in my opinion, is the initial kick that you get, which we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about. You'll kind of see how the build works. So with this particular build, we are going to get a little bit more damage per mag. It is a little bit harder hitting than we'll see with the Fennec, for example, but the fire rate adjusts for that, just like we saw with the pistols. I'm using the Singard Mark V muzzle, the 1 milliwatt quick fire laser, and this is the one without the visible laser. If you want to go a little bit more aggressive and use a laser that's visible, more power to you. But I just feel that there's too many situations where you give away your position by using the laser that actually puts you at a disadvantage, especially since the audio is a little bit janky where you don't always hear everyone. I am using an optic on this just because I feel like it gives you a better sight picture, especially when people drop shot or move, and like it's just easier to see your target, even though the iron sights on the Lachmann Sub is pretty good. Then we got the LM stockless mod. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a stock that helps with strike speed, so you kind of got to go all in on movement if you want any kind of mobility. Then we got the 50 round drum mag. And you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to the recoil. This is actually easy gun to control. You just have to factor in that first jump. What you'll notice, if I aim for the head, it'll kick like a meter above its head. That one is something it does every single time, but then the recoil pattern just kind of stops a little bit and gets super easy to control. So as long as you aim a little bit lower, you're going to get chest and headshots, and the recoil will go ahead and kind of just stick there where you're aiming. Obviously, you got to kind of aim a little bit for yourself, and you go ahead and take them out like that. And it's super easy after that initial jump, but once you're aware of the jump, that's all you really need to be aware of. And competitively, you'll see how its TTK stacks up against the other two guns on this list. And the Vaznev is very similar, slightly slower fire rate because it is in the cast-off category. Those things are a little bit slower but hard hitting, but I do like the mobility on this thing. And you'll see kind of how it's built out. So right here, we're using the Singard Mark V barrel. We got the Schlager Peck Box 4 laser, which works very much the exact same as what we saw. The Slimline Pro, the Otrizat stock, and the 45 round mag. You'll kind of see how this one is. I just feel like it has a little bit better snappiness. And the recoil, it doesn't have that same issue as the Lachmann Sub, so I feel like it's a little bit easier to use, even though its damage per mag is slightly lower than the 50 round mag that we saw with the Lachmann Sub, so it's kind of a little bit of a trade-off. And last but not least, that's going to bring us to the Fennec, which I think has been a very popular gun because it's super forgiving with the fire rate of almost 1100. Its TTK is way up there. You burn through bullets pretty quick, so you got to factor that in. When you come into a one-on-one scenario, you're deleting that player. Whoever gets the first shot is winning with this thing, and there's not really much recovery for the other player once they already start taking damage. So the build we have for this is the Singard Mark V, like we've been doing, the 1 milliwatt laser, the slimline with the Fennec rubber grip, and then the Fennec mag, and you'll kind of see how this one builds out. Super accurate, even at the little bit further ranges. We should still be able to hit people at that 25 meter distance. 50, that would be kind of a stretch, right? Like this, you're not really going to use the Fennec at that range, even though I can hit shots. You would run out through the mag pretty quickly, but you should be able to hit those two targets pretty consistently. Appreciate the support. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.